The strangest case I've ever dealt with was when I was a chaplain resident at Yale New Haven Hospital. And Yale New Haven Hospital is a level 1 trauma center. And so I worked in the emergency room a lot. And one night around prom season, there was an accident, and they brought in the victims from the accident. No one survived. And the mother for one of the victims came in, and she had to identify the body, and the only way she could identify the body was by the manicure that the girl had. That's probably the strangest case.
Did you ever want to be something else other than what you are now?
Yes, I wanted to do something practical, so I wanted to do like pottery, something that I could see at the end of the day what I had accomplished, because in my line of work you never see end results. It's all theory and emotion, and there's not anything concrete about it.
Who inspired you to follow this career?
I would probably say my parents, because whenever I first got into ministerial type work, I was doing mission work, and my mom and dad were big in supporting missionaries whenever I was growing up, and they would have missionaries come and visit our house whenever they came to our church to visit. And so I grew up hearing stories about living in other countries and doing that kind of stuff. So I'd say my mom and dad were probably the most influential.
Has there ever been a time where you thought that you can provide for yourself or your family while like going through college or like after that?
No, I mean, there was never a time where we didn't have the basics, but there were plenty of times when we didn't have the extras and the luxuries, especially in college and seminary and stuff like that. But we made it through, so it was okay.
What do you like about your job?
What do I like about my job? I like meeting a lot of different kinds of people. I like learning about how people's interpretation of their faith helps them in times of crisis. I like the variety of places that I've been able to work. You know, I've worked at 2 major universities, and now I'm in a small community hospital. I've worked overseas, so all of that has been an opportunity I wouldn't have had if I'd chosen another career path.
So you said earlier that your parents always had missionaries over at their house.
Right.
What were some of their stories, and how did it affect you?
So, there were missionaries from Africa, and they would tell stories about how they lived in, like, what we think of, the grass hut and dirt floors, and how they learned how to eat, like, the native foods, including, like, bugs and, animals that we don't typically eat here. But they always, there was something always special about them. Again, nothing that you can put your finger on, but they had a lot of joy, a lot of laughter, especially whenever they were learning the language of the people, and they would often make mistakes and say things that they didn't mean to say, but the nationals always thought it was really funny because of what they said. So that was.
So you did missionary work, and like, how did you learn from your experiences doing missionary work?
So right after college, we worked with a group of Laotian immigrants who had come to High Point, North Carolina, and that was really our first experience with working cross-culturally, except for a short mission trip that we had taken to Trinidad. And so the experience with the Laotians really got us interested in doing the simple things, like teaching someone how to, go grocery shopping, or read a list in English, or just say, hello, my name is, and that kind of thing. What did I learn from my experiences? Probably that simplicity is best, because I've been able to travel to Bangladesh, where they have absolutely nothing, especially whenever we were there right after a major typhoon, and everybody had flooded into Dhaka, which is the capital, with basically what they had on their backs. We were been able to go to Calcutta and see people live under a tarp, do their washing, their cooking, their cleaning, all with the water that they pull out of a mud puddle. And even though it was really awful looking, they were very happy, because at least they had a covering. Been able to go to China, and Thailand, and Japan, and see, just across, I guess, Southeast Asia, that, as long as you have food, shelter, family, simple things is best.
So you said that you wanted to do something with pottery.
Yeah.
And so why didn't you?
Why didn't I? And I guess I never really. I mean, I had a couple of opportunities, but I didn't study it in school. So the American thing is, oh, I got to go to school to learn how to do this. And the only time I really got to do something with pottery was whenever I lived in Japan. And we lived in an area where they were kind of famous for doing pottery, so my students knew I was interested in pottery, so they would take me to these different places, kind of like what we have here now, or in larger cities where they have these studios and you can go paint, or you can do pottery for a day. Well, they have those in Japan, and they taught us how to do the local pottery, but that's the only exposure I really got to do.
What events in your life did you think made you understand people better, or made you a better person from experiencing them?
Wow. So as far as the kind of work that I do, being with people in crisis, I would say experience of losing a child early in the pregnancy has helped me be able to sit with families as they experience that loss. Since my parents are both gone, I know what that kind of loss is like, so it's easier for me to sit beside families as they're going into the grieving process and beginning to experience that, and kind of give them kind of a hope and a sustaining way that, this is bad for the moment, but in time it gets better. So.
What's one thing that your parents said to you that has always stayed with you?
Something that my parents have said that has always stayed with me. That's a tough one. I guess there are three things that are really important. First one being God. The second one is how you take care of your family, and probably the third one is how you live out your faith in the vocation or the career that you choose